You're fine, Jasper. Okay, so this is day 2 with Penny, who's been here since November, but I haven't worked with her other than just to make her manageable from the paddock to the barn and back. She's got a lot of opposition reflex. She pushes against pressure instead of yields to pressure, and to kind of a dangerous level. So I'm actually going to go ahead and I'm going to drive her around in a circle for a few minutes and see if I can't get her to get more engaged with me and more interested in connecting. Get her interested in connecting with me. I don't know where that's safer. Kind of not safe anywhere. All right. So I want her to kind of want the connection with me. I want her to kind of want to be a part of what I'm doing. And really the best way to do that is to kind of make it more comfortable to be with me than not. So I'm going to go ahead and ask her to kind of go out and around here. And what I'm going to be looking for is for her to check in with me. And when she checks in with me, I'm going to back off. So right now I'm just going to kind of maintain my pressure. I'm not going to let her change direction. I'd prefer that she doesn't spend so much time thinking about how do I get out of here. Don't need her trying to climb the rails, so I'm just going to kind of keep her going until she looks at me. When she looks at me, I'm going to back off. I'm kind of taking an arcing direction towards her hindquarters. When she leaves, I'm going to send her back out. So I'm going to make it to where all this pressure comes off when she gets connected to me. So she thought, I tried to let her know what I'm looking for. She thought to look at me. Tried to let her know what I was looking for. I'm thinking with the pattern that she's developing, she's going to look again right in that area and see if I can help her see for sure that it is what I'm looking for. Slow down, girl. Keep trying to let her know. So up in here is when she's going to connect. Don't let her change directions. So she thought to connect there, and then she thought to change directions. She thought about it again. All she has to do is look at me so I can let her know what I'm actually looking for. She keeps thinking about it. She hasn't quite figured out. Oh, there, we almost had it. So I'm watching her pattern. Don't want her trying to climb out of here. So right in here is where she starts to think about looking. And then she overrides it and gets in run, run, run mode. So now we're going to have a, should I try to climb the pen feelings here. So now when she thinks to do it, I have to drive her a little bit because she's thinking about going over the pen. So I'm going to let her slow down, but I'm going to keep on the same pressure of me. I'm just going to let her slow down. There. So I'm just going to leave her alone. I want her to realize that this was absolutely the right answer. I'm not going to look at her. I'm not going to turn any of my energy in her direction. I'll protect myself if she tries to run me over. And then I will set chase again if she decides to leave. Just going to leave her here for a second. So now leaving needs to be uncomfortable. Coming back would be comfortable. So let's see how quickly we can get her to go, oh, that's all you needed me to do? Like I said, I'm not going to make her run anymore. I'm going to kind of let her take down the pace. I'm going to let her know that was the right answer. I'm going to leave her alone. Maybe even be able to walk with her. If she leaves, what she thought to do, I would do something about it. Should be able to turn back away and have her stay, but she didn't. So I'm going to make it uncomfortable. You shouldn't have left. Wasn't it better when you were with me? And that's all this is explaining to her, is wasn't it better for us to be partners? Didn't it work out better for you for us to be partners? When working with horses, using your peripheral vision is to both of your benefit. I should be able to turn back away and her stay with me. If she chooses to leave, I'm going to do something about it because she lost connection. Again, with me was so much more comfortable. So let's see if we can get her to reconnect. See if I can step back and invite her to come to me. Gently walk around her hip. See if I can get her to disengage her hip and come to me. If she leaves, I'm going to make it uncomfortable. This is how I teach horses to come to me when I call them. Sometimes I'll introduce the here cue now, but I'm not wanting to engage with eye contact, and my here cue involves me looking at them. And give her a chance to connect again. Here. So now I am looking at her. I can say here, 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 here. Oh, she left. Wrong answer. Give her a chance to think it through again. She's starting to think it over there now. She thinks it right about there. The other horse has got her attention a little bit though. And she usually thinks it right about there too. So, let's see if we can't get her to think it right there. Oh, she left. So I'm not going to ask her to get faster. I'm just going to start engaging a little bit closer contact as far as my distance between her and me, so that when she does offer, which she's about to offer, I'm close enough where she can come meet me. Good girl. Good girl. So I left her on a good note yesterday, on a yielding note. And we're going to have to get her through that opposition reflex and get her to understand that when I put pressure on you, that you're actually supposed to move away from it. There'll be times that I want her to push against pressure, but I'll tell her those times. When I'm asking her to yield from me, I want her to actually respect that I'm asking her to do something, and then I want her to use the thinking side of her brain and figure out the puzzle. Your hands are on me. They're kind of putting a little bit of a pinch on my skin. Maybe if I move away, it'll stop. So I kind of want her to make those puzzle-solving decisions. So yesterday, she allowed me to pet her, and then when I touched her, she got upset. Good. Like that. Good. Good. Good, you're fine. You're fine. Good. Good. You're fine. Good girl. So I don't want to keep bending her back to me, but she's not safe. So that's why I'm holding on to her forehead or her noseband here, is because she's not safe to allow her to go away from me after she yields, because she's going to be too close to me with her hindquarters if I allow her to do that. So I am bringing her right back after I tell her to leave, which is kind of counterintuitive, leave but don't go. But I am only asking for one step, and I'm not giving her a go cue. So I shouldn't confuse her too bad, but I'm doing this for my own safety. So I haven't asked for anything yet, so I'm going to actually wait for her to stop moving. She's doing a beautiful job doing what I want when I'm wanting it, but I didn't want it yet. There. Now I want it. Good girl. Good. Good. Now, I'm on the same side that we worked on yesterday, which unfortunately I don't know that we're going to get fully through it, but I should be able to get to the other side, at least introduce it. Good. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and say, that's good, we'll try the other side. Now, horses do not transfer information. What I've done on this side means nothing to her on that side. And that's something a lot of people need to learn, is that you think they know what you want from them because, oh, I always do it, but you always do it on their left. You've never done it on their right, so they don't have any clue. Their brains don't work like that. So when I come over here, I might get the same original reaction, or I might get none, because maybe she was a horse where everything was done to her on her left. So I'm going to ask her to cross her feet over. Good. Now also, sometimes when you have horses that are really left-hand sour, and that's because people do everything to them on their left, often I'll start on their right, because they have no preconceived ideas of what on the right means. So, see if I can ask her to cross her feet over. Good. I don't need her to leave. I don't even want her to leave, but I'm going to allow her to leave in case she needs the fire in her feet. Good. Good. Now she's believing that she doesn't have to leave, which is good. See if I can get another one. Good. And now she knew she didn't have to leave. So she's going to prove to us that anything we want to introduce to her fairly new, where we can prove to her that we're trying to talk to her, I would probably opt to do everything new from the right-hand side. Because the left-hand side, she has an opinion, she has memory blocks, or whatever is going on there. So I'm going to ask her to yield her hindquarters away, especially a horse like her who's threatened to kick, who's threatened to rear up. What I would do is I would make sure that her nose is turned in my direction to prevent her from being able to kick me. It also aids in the actual body movement, so it will help her actually make the connection to the back feet. So I'm going to go ahead and ask her nose to come towards me. I'm going to still rub her side, and I'm going to ask her hindquarters to cross over. Good. That's all I wanted. So it means nothing yet. Bring her nose around, ask her to cross her hindquarters over. Good. Now, it'd be interesting to see how much worse she is on the other side, or if I'm doing something really good by her and starting on this side. Hindquarters. Good. Good. So, crowding is an issue. It's a very, very unconfident horse. So crowding is part of that unconfidence. It's, I'm going to come and climb in your lap because I need you to save me. But if you watch horses or even cows in a herd, when they think their life is in danger, and say there's 10 horses, and this is the one horse that thinks her life is in danger, you know where she's going to go? She's going to go to the center of the herd. Why? Not because she thinks she's safer because they provide the safety. No, because the outer horses or the outer cows will create the meal first. She doesn't want to get eaten. So she's going to go in the middle, so the other ones get eaten before she does. So often when they crowd you, you think it's because they want you to love on them and show them affection and protection. But truthfully, what they really want is you to get eaten first. So keep that in your mind when your horse runs you over. So let's see if we have any bad attitudes over on this side. And bend her nose a little bit. Good girl. Gonna bend her nose a little bit. Good girl. Gonna bend her nose a little bit. Good girl. So what I'm asking her to cross her hind legs over. I'm asking her to disengage or turn off her motor. Their motor's right here. If I can turn her motor off, she can't run, she can't buck, she can't do anything that's dangerous to me if I have it in her mind that I can turn off her motor. So by asking her to cross her legs, I turn off the motor. Now, if they shuffle their feet, I consider that staying in neutral where she can slam it back down and drive and take off. I need her to put it in park. I need her to officially shut her motor off. So if you are trying to get that hind disengagement and you're only getting this, your horse can still very much take off. Bend her nose a little bit. Get that crossover. See how she's shuffling? She's shuffling. She's keeping it neutral. There, we got one. She's shuffling. She's shuffling. And nope, there. Now she turned off the motor. Good. Now it'd be nice to be able to do this front yield on this side and have the same relaxation that I'm dealing with right now, and not have her have one of her moments of, oh my God, good girl. So before I start something new, I'm going to put I wanted her to cool down a little bit before I put I'm going to put my bareback pad on her and see where her memories are about being cinched. This horse hasn't been worked at all in at least 6 years, maybe ridden twice in that 6 years. So I don't know what her attitude is about being cinched or anything. It's new to me as much as it might be all of a sudden new to her. So we're going to go ahead and see what that looks like. She's being good. Well, because she came into the paddock into the pen with a high adrenaline, in the wild, that's how they get rid of their adrenaline, is running. Sometimes people think you're amping them up by running them. You're actually helping them come down off that adrenaline. So I would prefer that she's paying a little bit more attention. So I'm going to get her away from the grass. Plus, asking for connection is what that whole exercise actually was, because I need her to want to be a part of what I'm doing. So I'm sort of going to treat her like she's been doing this for every day of her life for the last 6-7 years, but I'm also going to treat her like I'm looking for holes in her training. If at some point I find a hole in her training, I'm not just going to ignore it. I'm not going to just go, we'll fix that later. We're going to fix it now. So if she has a cinchy problem, we're going to fix it now. Oh, we could create cinchy problems with the dirty belly. So anytime you cinch your horse, make sure, or saddle your horse actually, make sure that the area that you're supposed to be putting pressure on, the girth or the saddle area, is free of debris. No, I got most of it. I just want to make sure I got the other side. Because if you don't like a pebble in your shoe and being asked to walk for 45 minutes, then don't ask your horse to have a pill or pellet of any kind, dirt, shavings, under their girth, and then ask them to walk for 45 minutes. So kind of use, would I do this to myself mentality with a lot of this stuff. Okay, so let's see what we got. Just going to put it on her so it doesn't fall off. Not going to go crazy making it real tight. She did not care. Her head went down. That was nice. So let's see what she looks like when she is asked to move off with it, if suddenly she humps up on me. So she learned kind of go that direction yesterday, and we did it with a lot of arguments. So I'm just going to be gentle about, hey, remember we did this yesterday? Good. You're right. I'm going to say, hey, remember we did this yesterday? Good. You're right. You're right. So the shoulder's still coming at me. That was an issue yesterday. Good. There you go. I'm not asking you to run, sweetheart. Go ahead. Step away. There you go. Good girl. Away. Good girl. So we did leave her on a good note yesterday because we've got a much different horse today. So I'm going to go ahead and disengage her hindquarters with a more of a rhythmic pushing the air pressure, because I want that to pinch her around the belly, but I also want to be able to get away if it suddenly catches her off guard. So I'm going to ask her to yield her hindquarters away by chasing them around. Good. Ask her to Ask her to back up, back. Good. No, back. No, back. Good. It's all right. So those are all arguments. She doesn't have a fly or anything bothering her. She's arguing. So I'm going to ask her to go this way. I'm going to be patient with her because we just sort of learned it yesterday. You're right. I'm going to give her a kiss cue, which means move your feet. Good. Didn't need her to run, but I'm okay with her running because it was just lack of education. I'm going to ask her to go again. Good. I'm going to ask her to go again. Now, this happens often when people lunge their horses. They think their horses are being bad by stopping and asking questions like that. That was just a question. She didn't know I didn't want her to make a full 10 laps. She didn't know I didn't want her to make half a lap. She didn't know I didn't want her to just turn. So her asking me, is that enough? There's nothing wrong with that. I say, hey, I'll let you know. And then I'll let her know. So I can prove to her that I'll let her know. So often what I do with horses when I try to make sure that I'm establishing some kind of connection and some kind of leadership position with them, I'll put my hand on their forehead. I don't press down. I don't try to ask them to yield from pressure or anything like that, because especially this horse who doesn't yield from pressure, you would know right away if that's what I was doing, because she'd throw her head up in the air. But I am going to ask her to lower her head because she knows that I have a loving touch and that I'm the leader of her. And I don't care if she doesn't drop it to the ground. I just want her to show some respect and lower it a little bit. Now, she has already lowered it a little bit. I don't know what she sees, the airplane. Good. Good. And that's, when you watch two horses, especially two horses that are strongly bonded, you can tell which horse is the lead horse, because often they'll lay their head across their back. The not lead horse, the next man down, they'll lay their head across their back, and it's affectionate, but it's also an ownership. It's establishing or maintaining or just kind of wearing the badge of I'm your boss, but yet it's affectionate. So that's kind of my version of that, is I do this, I'm your boss, but I'm being affectionate. Honestly, Hillary, I would quit with this. Yes, and I want her to kind of soak on what she just did today, because to introduce something new and make her upset when we had such a bad session yesterday and we left her on a really good note, and this is evidence of what a good note can do for her. Let's leave her on another good note, and then we'll do some more new things. But I got all my steady pressure yields done, and she knows some of my rhythmic pressure yields because of yesterday. So I can advance her pretty quickly now. We just had this conversation in the office, but I'll be honest with you, like, she's not going to be, we're not going to spend months and months and months trying to get her to listen. But we do need to get her to where she can be in this frame of mind when we work with her, before we get on her, not when we're done. We don't want to have the bad ride and then leave her on a good note. We want the good note to start. You want to go back out with your buddy? Now, it's healthy for him too. Like, she takes him away and she has to deal with it. It's healthy for him to be able to deal with it too, because if you were an inactive mom, then I wouldn't care. But if you plan on taking your horse away, we don't need her freaking out. We don't need him freaking out. We need them both to learn their independence and their ability to trust that you're strong enough leader that when you do take her away, she can trust that you've got her back. You want to roll? I'm almost afraid to let her loose because I'm afraid she's going to get upset, but I want her to have a chance to roll. You want to roll? Now, I call this feedback if she follows me. I used to always go, and there's your feedback. Yep, so I wanted to let her do that. Yeah, yeah, there you go. Some horses do struggle. Yeah, they'll get up and they'll do the other side. But Ritz is real good. And then, of course, my round-backed ones, they can just... Whoop, whoop. Hunter was awesome. Good girl. Shake it off. Good girl.